For 35 years, the vertical handheld, the Game Boy form factor, has been the symbol of casual, pocketable fun. It was never meant to be a powerhouse. It was never meant to be luxury. But what happens when you take that iconic nostalgia, strip away the budget plastic, and inject it with the processing power of a 2025 sub-flagship smartphone? On December 20th, 2025, Anbernic dropped the RG477V. It's not just another emulator, it's a statement. It features a MediaTek Dimensity 8300 processor, a 120 Hz display, and a price tag that breaks the psychological barrier of the vertical market. At $200, this isn't a toy, it's a gamble. Today we are tearing down the specs, the controversial design, and the raw math to answer one question for the US market. Is this the holy grail of retro gaming, or have we finally gone too far? Let's dive in. First, let's address the elephant in the room, the price. The RG477V starts at $199.99 for the first 72 hours, hitting a retail MSRP of around $220 later. Historically, vertical handhelds were impulse buys, sub-$100 stuffing stuffers. But Anbernic is playing a new game here called artificial scarcity and FOMO. They are testing the absolute ceiling of what you are willing to pay for nostalgia. Here in the States, $200 puts this device in a dangerous no-man's land. You're no longer just competing with other retro handhelds, you're flirting with used Steam Deck prices and high-end horizontal OLED devices. So why do they think they can charge this much? It's what analysts call a form factor monopoly. If you want this much power in a vertical body, you literally have no other choice. Anbernic is charging a tax on your nostalgia. But does the hardware justify the tax? Let's look under the hood. This isn't the budget chips we're used to. This is the MediaTek Dimensity 8300. It's built on a 4N process with a Cortex A17 5-core clocking at a massive 3.35 GHz. Why does that number matter? Because emulation is a single-thread game. That clock speed allows this thing to brute force PlayStation 2 and GameCube emulation at 3x or even 4x native resolution without breaking a sweat. There is a catch, though. The GPU is a Mali G615. If you follow the emulation scene, you know Mali drivers can be tricky compared to Snapdragon, but for PS2 and GameCube, it's overkill. And for those of you eyeing the upgraded 12GB RAM model for an extra $40, that's not for retro gaming. That is strictly if you want to turn this into a modern Android gaming beast for titles like Zenless Zone Zero. But the real star here is the screen. It's a 4.7-inch IPS panel, 4:3 aspect ratio, 1280 by 960 resolution. To my tech nerds, that resolution is a perfect number. It is exactly 4 times the resolution of a PS1 and exactly 2 times the resolution of a PS2. This means we get integer scaling, crisp, sharp pixels with zero blur. Plus, the 120 Hz refresh rate enables black frame insertion, BFI, which tricks your eyes into seeing motion just like an old-school CRT TV. Now, we have to talk about the design, because this is where the community is fighting a civil war. The RG477V features a full edge-to-edge glass front. It looks premium, it looks modern, it sheds that cheap plastic toy vibe, but glass breaks, and for a portable device, that durability is a massive concern. Then there's the back. The previous RG406V had ergonomic grips. The RG477V, it's a flat slab. Sure, it slides into your pocket easier, but this thing weighs 334 grams. Holding a flat, heavy brick in a claw grip to reach those shoulder buttons for an hour, that is a recipe for hand cramps. It's a classic case of aesthetics winning over pragmatism. For my viewers here in the US, there is another layer to this story: supply chain and tariffs. With the shifting trade policies in late 2025, getting Chinese electronics directly can be volatile. While direct shipping is available, those tariff implications might push the effective price even higher or force you to wait for domestic resellers, which means you might miss that early bird $199 deal. Compare that to Southeast Asian markets like Vietnam, where supply chains are direct and prices are stable. For us in the States, this is firmly a luxury import. So, is the Anbernic RG477V worth $200? If you look at the raw value, a horizontal OLED device or a Retroid Pocket might give you more bang for your buck. But if you are a vertical purist, if you grew up with a Game Boy and you want that specific feeling, but you also want to play Grand Theft Auto San Andreas at 4x resolution, there is simply nothing else like this on the market. It's a holy grail for a very specific niche. It's flawed, it's expensive, and it's beautiful. I want to hear from you. Are you willing to pay the form factor tax for a vertical device, or is $200 insane for something without an OLED screen? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for our full hands-on review coming next week. I'll see you in the next one.